A little practice with the Contenders today. I just wrapped up some testing with the 270 Ren and some different powder, trying to make it burn a little cleaner, a little less muzzle blast. I think I'm heading in the right direction. Accurate number 9. 10 grains, it was too much pressure. I was swelling the cases a little bit. That's a published load at the beginning of the powder charge, so I backed that down to 9, and that's looking a lot better. And then this particular frame I purchased not that long ago, used. It came with a 357 Magnum barrel and one other barrel, and I can't recall what the other barrel is. I'd have to take a look at the paperwork to tell you what it was. But anyway, I just shot the first 5 shots out of it in 357 Magnum in that barrel, which is a very new Thompson center barrel. The roll marking is the laser roll marking rather than the traditional roll marking that this barrel has. Now, this barrel, I just switched it out. This has got my 357 Max barrel on it, 10-inch. So I wanted to do some more testing with that. I was shooting 16 grains of 42-27. The bullet looked real good out to about 175 yards, and then I started to see a little bit of wobble show up in the targets. And the bullet that I'm shooting is a bullet that I modified. I think many of you have seen that earlier. It started out as a Lee 148 grain wadcutter, and I modified the mold on my lathe to make it around a 200 and it's close to 220 grain wide meplat semi-wadcutter, and it's been shooting very well. I would just like to get about another 25 yards out of it, so I thought, you know, I'll try a little bit more of a charge. I'm well below what the numbers could be. But I've got the chronograph set up, and we'll shoot a few of these and get some velocity numbers and see where I am. I only brought 24 of them. Some of them are in this nickel brass, and some of them are in this other brass. This is Winchester brass here, and this is Federal. So I'll start with the a few shots with the nickel-plated Federal brass, and we'll see what it chronos at. Just here at 25 yards, got a pistol target up there, and we'll see how it prints, and we'll see what the chronograph numbers are. Just shooting out of a simple little rest here. Not really going for big time accuracy. This is more data gathering than anything. And I'll go ahead and hold right on the middle of my target. The 357 Magnum printed just off to the right a little bit. I don't have a camera for the target with me today, so we're going to have to just look at the target afterwards. And then this scope is a loop-hold. It's a I forget which model. This came with one of the Contenders that I purchased, but it's a fixed. I think it's a fixed 2 if I remember correctly. I can't, in this light with these glasses on, I can't see what it says, but I believe it's a fixed 2 power. It's one of the more modern matte finished ones. And then it's got a little bit of smoothing of the finish on the ends because whoever had it before me had scope caps on it. But once again, 357 Max, 17 grains of IMR 42-27. It's a BR4 bench rest primer. This is only my 6th shot out of this frame. I haven't had this frame very long. I've had it a few months but hadn't shot it. It's got Packmeyers, but it differs than my others. This is a Packmeyer that's got the finger grooves. My other Packmeyers are all like the presentation style. So this one does feel just a little different. Whew, love the smell of that lube. Got 1392 on the velocity. Brass looks real good. Let's write that down before I forget. I'm recording with my iPhone, so I don't have the Caldwell app on the iPhone running. I can't quite make out where that target is, or where that, excuse me, I can make out where the target is. I can't make out where the shot is. I may be able to pick it up with this little magnifier. I got this at a garage sale. It's It's a little Vivitar PV series 8x21, and it's not too bad for spotting at close range. Well, I see the 5.357 Magnum shots, but I do not see that shot. I hope that wasn't so bad that I didn't even get it on that pistol target. There's a bug down there hovering around. And I still only see 5 over there with the 357 Magnums. There's a hornet on the target. No call on that first one, but we did get velocity data, 1392. Let's run another. This frame does feel different than my others. The trigger does feel different. I don't know if anything has been changed on it or if it's just different generation. That one I do see, it's high. It's at the top of the target. It would be a little bit left of center, right at the top of the white part of the target. 1345 on the velocity. So it looks like if I'm going to stay on this at this yardage, I'm going to have to bring my hold down. But I'm going to go ahead and stay on a center hold here, just to see if it goes up there with that other one. So the first one was probably over the top, and if this one prints high again, I'll move my hold down. I haven't shot this max barrel in a couple of months. I don't remember how I had it set up. I think I have it sighted for 100 yards, if I remember correctly. Little bug there. Go away, bug. Okay, move over a little bit. There we go. Still using the center hold. And that's up with the other one. It's not quite as high. I probably had a better follow through. It's at straight up 12 o'clock. It's probably an inch above the black. 1342 on the velocity. So I'm happy with the velocities. I've got 1392 on the first shot, 1345, and 1342 for those 3 shots. That one is right up in the same kind of area. It's a little bit further to the right, but just a little tiny bit. It's still probably a 12 o'clock or 12:30 call. So I don't know that I'm going to be shooting this a lot. I have to get some confidence to go to the big bore. Like I said, the next 2 weekends, it's May 15th today. I shot the military rifle shoot yesterday. In 1 week, there's a 1-day, Saturday only silhouette shoot north of me a little ways. I was planning to shoot in the field pistol and field pistol any sight with my 270 Ren and 3220. I talked to the match director. He said, bring along a big bore gun, get a little experience. So I thought a good place to start with big bore. the 357 Max. I can shoot this in production with a sight, so I think it's a good place to start, and then try to learn a little bit. So I thought, okay, I'll bring this out, shoot it a little bit, get some ammo around. And actually, I talked to the match director for the match that's going to be the following week. There's one next weekend that's a one-day event, Saturday only, and then the following weekend there's a two-day event, Saturday and Sunday. They shoot all the events each day, so it's a two-day. I don't know if they aggregate or how they do it, but it was the match director for that match that I talked to. So I'm on call for work that weekend, so I might have to see what I can do to fit that in. It might work out, it might not. I think I'll go anyway, even if I am on call, and if I end up getting interrupted and have to work, I'll work. So we'll just we'll play it by ear and see how that goes. But so I thought I'd get the 357 Max out. I've shot this one more than my other big bore pistols. I could do 357 Harriet, I could do 30 Harriet, I could do 41 Magnum, could do 357 Magnum if I wanted to. Let's see what else. You know, then I got some really big stuff, 35 Remington, 358 JDJ. But I figure the Max, especially since it's a 10-inch barrel, in the 10-inch barrels to stay in production, 357 Magnum, 357 Maximum, and 41 Magnum are probably the three that I would consider. But I like this Max, and I've been shooting it. It's kind of fun because it's a bullet that I modified. So if I can make some success with this, it would be a lot of fun. So, and let's see, fourth velocity 1378. Let's see what we get for the fifth one. Back down to 1341 again. Okay, well there's 5 out of the Max. Let's go down and take a look at the target. I used the same target for the Max and the 357 Magnum, so we can look at both of those. I didn't film the shooting of the 357 Magnum, so I don't have that, but there'll be more of that to come. Well, I'm shooting at one of the other clubs that I belong to today. This is short range. We've got 100 yards here at this club, so you're looking down there. That's the 50-yard backstop, and then further down, I should say the backstop to the left, there's the 50-yard backstop, and then further down is 100. Got my chrono set here, and I'm in the shade at the shooting benches, and then this little berm up here is kind of the pistol berm. So we'll go ahead and walk up and see what we got there. And I was shooting at that white 50-yard handgun target, or excuse me, 25-yard handgun target. It's a standard target. So these are the shots from the go down. These are the shots from the Max. So I think one was over the top, and I can see the divot in the berm up there. Maybe I'll excavate and see if I can find a bullet. But those are the ones from the Max. So I think I had 4 here, and I think I had, oh, there it is right there, I'll bet. Yeah, so that one was a little higher. That was the first shot, probably a poor follow through. Then I had this one and this one and this one. So that one, it looks like the hole is not real round, but this could be because it's going through this oriented strand board. I've found that this bullet prints nice round holes all the way out, like I said, to about 175 yards, and then it seems to, with what I was shooting, the 16 grains of 42-27, or was it 15? 16, it was starting to give up the ghost a little bit, so that's why I went a little higher this time. So, and then this was the 5 shots from the 357 Magnum that I shot a couple minutes ago. 3 of them together there, and then these 2. These are probably me to the right. It probably should have shot them all there, but this is probably the bozo on the trigger. That's a Hornady XTP 158 grain. I wrote down the velocities on that. That was something I was shooting out of my 6-inch GP 100 to hunt with. So it was just something I had laying around. I looked in the 357 Magnum ammo can, and I'm out other than those XTP rounds. And I thought, okay, for the first shots on that new frame, I need some 357 ammo. And so I was scrounging to see what I had at home. I did have a couple boxes of factory stuff, but I couldn't see the point in using that up. Just I can make more of this XTP load. I have 5 more of them, but there you go. There's what the Max did on those 5 shots. You saw the chronograph data. And I think I'll probably shoot it a little bit more. I'll put a target maybe at 50 yards and shoot it there and see how that goes. Well, I shot the remaining 6 in the federal brass here at 25 yards. And I got 5 right here. I used a 6 o'clock hold this time. So my first 5 shots I held center, and I had these plus the one that hit up here. Can't see that, my hand's in the way. This one that hit up here. And then I held 6 o'clock for the second batch of 6, because that's what I had left in the federal brass, and I got 5 and 1. So I settled down and shot a lot better here. But this was the last shot, and I hosed it up. So that's how it goes sometimes. I was hoping to come back down here with the camera and have a nice clump right there, but once again, the bozo on the trigger hosed it up. Well, I took the first 3 shots at 50 yards, and this is what I came up with. So I figured I was shooting a little bit high because I was 4 3/4 of an inch high at 25 yards, and I believe I'm sighted for about 100 on this. So it's got a little bit of an arc to it. But I do see some berm damage right above there, so chances are I shot over the top. So what I did is I moved over to this well-used target here, and I held right here on the center and took 2 shots, and they're both right there in the head. So if we look at that as far as a measurement, we've got, yeah, we're right about there. So we're about, I'd say we're about plus 11. Looks like about plus 11 at 50 yards. So that sounds about right. It's probably a little higher than it was with the 16 grain load. And of course, I am not trying to keep the barrel from moving. I'm trying to let it recoil because that's what it's going to do when I'm shooting it, holding it in my hands without a rest. So we'll keep it set right where it is. Since I've got 2 on there, I'll shoot a few more at this target. I'll hold on this red spot here in the middle again, just like I did for these 2, and we'll see if a couple more go up that way. But hey, I saved a target. Yeah, I put 3 more on at 50 yards, shooting down here. There's 3, 4, and 5. That last one, I didn't have a good hold on it. That's my fault. So that one's definitely shooter error, but so we are right about 11 inches above the point of aim at 50 yards. I'm going to salvage this 25-yard slow fire pistol target that I put up here. I'm going to walk that down to 100 yards. I should be able, with that scope, to see this at 100 yards because I had no problem seeing this at 50. So we'll take a look at that at 100 yards and see if I can get something to print on it. If I remember right, I thought I had this sighted at 100 yards, but that would have been with 16 grains of powder rather than 17, so it's probably shooting a little bit higher yet. We may be well high at 100 yards yet, but we'll give it a look. So this splatterburst target is already posted at 100 yards here, and there are not any 35 caliber holes in it. So I think what I'll do is staple my target about right here. Then that way, if I'm high, I should catch them up in this area and should be able to tell what I've got for trajectory. So I'll get this stapled up, and I'll see you after I fire the group. Well, I would say that I was wrong. I didn't get anything on the target, nor did I get anything above, and I didn't try to spot any of it. We may have been over the top. Let me back up a little bit here and see, try to look at any of the, it's possible that that one big hole in the berm, that doesn't look fresh though. There's a pretty good sized hole there, but I don't think that that's fresh, where that would have been my shots where I was too high, but then again, I don't see anything low either, so that's gotta be where the bullets went. And if that's the case, they all kind of went in together, because there is nothing above this target. So at a minimum here at 100, I would have been 15 inches high if this is the case. I'll have to look at the trajectory. Maybe I had this sighted in for 200. I did shoot it at 200 a fair amount, trying to see if the bullets were stabilizing. I'll have to look back at my notes. It very well may be sighted at 200, and we'll have to go from there and see what I'm at. But there are some relatively good sized holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, that could potentially be 35 caliber, and they're kind of dirty like a cast bullet, but I don't see anything in the berm that indicates that those would be down lower there, and I'm not seeing anything, so I don't think those are my shots. I think I'm still over the top, and that good sized hole right there is where my shots went, because if you get back a little bit, that's kind of in line with just barely clearing the backstop, or this target board I should say. Well, up here on the backstop, I was kind of focusing on that hole right there, but I don't see any fresh dirt turned up there. Up here in this area, I do see some fresh dirt, and it looks like there's a lot of possibilities there, so I'm gonna probe around in there and see if I can find a bullet or two. Well, I probed down in there with a piece of metal, and I was down in following bullet paths down into there over a foot. I did pull out some stuff. This one here, possible, I suppose. This one's got a jacket, so that's not gonna be it. And this one has a jacket, but this one here, I think that might be one of the ones that I just fired. So that's probably where I was hitting, about 15 inches higher. So I'll look at the ballistics on this and see if that's even feasible. But I kind of got a place to start. I'll shoot it at 200 yards at a big target and see where it's printing. So we'll go from there. I don't have any more of this ammo with me today, so I'll have to go home and get some more around and try it again. But I got velocity numbers. If they all did go in that area like it looked, they're shooting fine accuracy wise at 100. So that's that. Thanks for watching.